Obviously, the Arizona Diamondbacks have a problem when it comes to who's going to start on opening day, but do they have a problem when it comes to their infield depth? We have more. We're talking about it right now. Don't you go anywhere. Welcome into another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast, live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. Welcome in, friends. It is I, your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. Thrilled to have you guys joining us here and thrilled to be talking about another day of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. We got the sun shining bright outside. We have, well, at least around our building, a bunch of fire trucks because someone lit the 34th floor of this building across the street from us on fire, but hopefully it would appear everybody's okay over there. It doesn't appear like there's any actual fire. But welcome in to another edition of the show. I am joined by my guy, do I make this admission? Do I say my best friend in the whole wide world?
Your
Damon,
therapist, your best friend.
He means a lot to me.
Brother in arms.
He means a lot to all of you. He means a lot to this Diamondbacks franchise, let me tell you. It's the one, the only Damon Dawg, aka Damon Farrell on the ones and twos. And we have some things to discuss when it comes to his favorite player. Mostly, who is going to back that guy up? Who is going to give Geraldo Perdomo a day off? And knock on wood, who's there in case another unfortunate injury occurs to this team? But first, we do have to talk about the Diamondbacks playing the Los Angeles Dodgers yesterday at Salt River Fields. That place was packed. If you were in attendance at that game, God bless you. We were outnumbered, 7-1 easily? Yesterday, there were a lot of Dodgers fans out there.
Diabolical there.
It was diabolical. Like it's not like they have to do that. They have their own stadium over on the west side of town called Camelback Ranch. Just stay over there. Keep to yourselves over there. But
that's a little bit disheartening. I'm not going to lie to you because I would have thought that the Diamondbacks would kind of own the East Valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah.
It feels like, West Valley's a little bit more Dodger country.
It's hard.
East Valley's a little bit more Dbacks country.
I will say,
and yet when you're out there in South Scottsdale or Midtown Scottsdale and Dodgers fans are outnumbering you, it's like, oh my God, we have an infestation of these cockroaches all over our city.
Yeah. Also, a lot of them traveled here for this. That's what I was hearing. Like, I was expecting to hear a lot of local Dodgers fans out there, but it would appear a lot of them are here enjoying not necessarily the weather because it's also 90 degrees in Los Angeles today, but they're enjoying watching their team steamroll the rest of the Cactus League right now, which is exactly what's happening with the Dodgers. In fact, the Diamondbacks gave them one of their best fights so far this spring, and they still lost by a score of 10-7. Zac Gallen looked really good in his spring debut. It's his first start since signing back with the Diamondbacks. He tossed a one scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts, so very encouraging when it comes to that. Our guy Geraldo Perdomo went 1 for 3 with his first home run of the spring, so that's you love to see it. You love to see it. Plus, Tim Tawa also went 2 for 3 with his first Cactus League home run. He has hit safely in his first 3 games of the season. So Tawa is out there doing the thing, trying to earn himself a spot. We're going to talk about, obviously, some roster holes that this team still has, right? Merrill Kelly is the big question mark, the big topic right now. But, it would appear that the depth for at least the infield gets pretty lean, and we don't know who's going to step in for that. But some other first home runs of spring as well. Pavin Smith, he went 1 for 3 with his first homer, and Jose Fernandez also went 1 for 3 with his first home run of spring. And again, Salt River Fields was just packed with Dodgers fans to watch all of this go on. Damon's choice for making the opening day roster, Ryne Waldschmidt, he went 1 for 3, and now he has hit safely in 3 of his first 4 games. So doesn't seem to be any issues with Waldschmidt adapting, at least for the time being, during spring training. to Major League pitching, if you want to call any of this that. I mean, Roki Sasaki got the start, I believe, yesterday for the Dodgers. Gallen, meanwhile, was on the mound for the Dbacks. It's good to see Gallen. It's good to see that, again, it's just a good reminder of how lucky we are that the Dbacks were able to pull off this deal to bring Gallen back right now. I'm not really satisfied. I'm not really happy. I think it sucks that Merrill Kelly misses what he admitted was probably his only opportunity to start on opening day for a team. And I mean, again, he's probably not wrong. I don't want to immediately take that opportunity away from him in 2027, but let's be honest, if Corbin Burnes is healthy in 2027, there's a good chance that guy is going to be on the mound for the Dbacks whenever the hell opening day is that season, if there's an opening day in 2027. But meanwhile, Zac Gallen, he's already hitting 98 miles per hour with his fastball. Damon, 98, maybe, kinda.
I mean, it sounds pretty nice. I'm down for it.
I don't know. Do we have a picture of it, or do we have just?
No, I didn't. I didn't grab that picture. We'll have the video here in just a second.
Oh yeah, no worries. But again, this came from our guy Alex Weiner over at Arizona Sports 98.7. And he posted a picture of the Salt River Fields scoreboard showing that Gallen had in fact hit 98 miles per hour on a four-seam fastball, which wasn't exactly true. Apparently, the gun at Salt River Fields is not working very accurately because Gallen did not hit 98 miles per hour with his fastball yesterday.
Are you telling me we don't have a brand new Zac Gallen? It's the same guy?
I mean, can you imagine if Gallen comes out on day one of spring training and just is hitting 98 miles per hour? Oh,
Cy Young season.
Yeah. Cy Young season incoming. And Gallen was asked about it after the game. He kind of laughed it off, and then did say that when he saw the velo on his curveball, he realized something was definitely off when it came to the gun. This is what Zac Gallen had to say, not only about hitting 98, but also just about how he felt out there.
The first one was 98. I was like, maybe it's real. I don't know. And then when I saw the 92-mile-an-hour curveball, I was like, I guess it's not real. But yeah, from a physical standpoint, physicality standpoint, the ball's been coming out of my hand pretty good. And just kind of the velocity and the size and the live BP has been, a tick up compared to years past. Yeah, I feel like, delivery's in a good place. Really tried to work at it, get a little bit more physical this year. Just try to be, now I'm on the other side of not 30, so now I got to do it a little differently now. So I feel like I'm in a good spot with, the training I put in just from a position standpoint and from a delivery, just kind of movement standpoint. The first one was 98.
I'm going to try harder in the clubhouse, you guys. I promise. I'm going to try harder. But later in the show, we're going to talk about Paul Skenes being tormented by ABS and Harrison Bader tormenting food vendors out at America Family Field. I, meanwhile, am being tormented by that Domino's game that you hear in the background. I don't know how you politely asked some players to stop playing dominoes. I don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. And if I was playing in that game, which I so desperately want to be a part of, I absolutely would refuse to stop playing dominoes. So I understand the position that we might be in here, but Damon will attest to this. There were some good answers that we were going to show you on today's show that we simply can't, because
the Domino's game was getting a little bit too heated.
And I mean, if you've ever heard how loud dominoes are when you're mixing them up for a game such as this, they can be very loud. I wasn't even close to the Domino's game, yet that's the position I was in, Damon. And I don't love it. I don't love this situation with our audio. But again,
you said that, Derek, you mentioned that you were essentially putting the camera down Drey Jameson's throat.
Oh yeah, we'll get to Drey. Like this isn't like a zoomed in angle when we get here to Drey Jameson. I was basically standing on top of his feet while talking to him like that. Yeah, it looked exactly like that.
Drey.
Well, that's Drey's point of view. Yeah, my point of view is cringing every time the Domino's game needed to.
This is more Derek's point of view.
Yeah, it's that look. It's that look for sure. But
looking back with the most judgmental eyes you've ever seen in your entire life. Hey, some of us are doing a job here, guys.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But Gallen was asked if he's in the best shape of his life, or Gallen was kind of joking about being in the best shape of his life. This is what he had to say about yesterday and how he feels overall.
I'm in really good shape. I feel like I've never been in bad shape, so I feel like I'm just in good shape. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are you implying? No, yeah, I feel like I'm in a good spot. I feel like a lot of really hard work this offseason, and just feel like we're trending in the right direction, hopefully.
Well, for all intents and purposes, it sounds like Gallen is ready to go. Has some ramping up, and most likely will be the Diamondbacks option for opening day when that comes around. Could still be Ryne Nelson, depending on how Gallen progresses here throughout spring training. But I feel like when it all comes down to it, this team notoriously makes decisions based on feels and things like that. So considering this could once again be Gallen's last season with this team, I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the start there on opening day. But Dodgers, again, put up a lot of runs on the Diamondbacks yesterday. They put up a lot of runs in general across baseball. Diamondbacks did their share, though. They put up 3 earned runs against Roki Sasaki in the first 1 1/3 innings pitched. And they got out to an early lead and slowly lost that lead over time. But the Diamondbacks definitely have some competitions heating up in spring when it comes to who could be in this bullpen. One guy that we are a fan of and in favor of getting that spot is Drey Jameson. Drey yesterday in his one inning pitch gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and struck out 2. So again, not exactly the cleanest inning, but he is working on some stuff. This is what Drey had to say. Let's first see what he was working on just overall yesterday, how the ball was coming out of his hand in yesterday's game.
I don't know what the numbers were today. I don't feel like I had any special ride to the ball today. It's kind of a hit or miss. I don't know exactly how to stay consistent with that, but it was something new for me from my last live to now. So it's something that you just got to watch Edgetronic and see exactly where my hand location was. Maybe it was. I don't know what numbers were, but for the most part, changeup I kept up. So it's something we got to work on along with.
Drey has been working on his changeup and his slider specifically. It's just something else that can complement his fastball. Said he didn't really have to work too much this spring on his fastball, but he also commented on what he's kind of learned from past spring trainings and just kind of maturing a bit as a pitcher, I guess, calming down a little bit here during spring. This is what Drey had to say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after an outing today, even though it's February, something that's super early, I probably beat myself up on it a little bit, but as I mature and I understand that I'm not going out there trying to throw it as hard as I can every single pitch, and really zoning in on my body and realizing I have time till opening day or wherever I end up to really zone in my stuff and not go full throttle February or something.
Well, again, a guy that's still fighting for that spot. I don't know how much spring training results matter, but I feel like if there's any place it does matter, it's probably going to be with some of these bullpen arms. They're not going to get a ton of work. They're not going to get a lot of chances to impress. And for the most part, it feels like they kind of need to do what they can with their time. Diamondbacks yesterday used a whole lot of pitchers in that game, basically used one different pitcher for every single inning, and even used 2 there in the, I think, 7th inning when they brought in Murillo and Anderson. So overall here, the Diamondbacks, again, have a lot of guys competing for this for these bullpen spots, and not a lot of spots available to them. So Drey really has some work to do in order to get one of those spots come opening day. He did say, though, that overall it's out of his control, right? And Katie says, all I heard was the clank of the dominoes. Yeah, that's where we're at, Katie, for sure. But again, Drey can only control what he does when he's out there. Can't really control the Diamondbacks' decision overall. But yesterday, Diamondbacks went 3 for 17, or excuse me, I'm sorry, 4 for 16 with runners in scoring position. So plenty of opportunities to cut into that lead and win that game, but who cares? It's spring training. Geraldo Perdomo, meanwhile, has hit safely in each of his first 4 games. He's batting .455. He's gone 5 for 11 with a walk. Nolan Arenado, has recorded a hit now and an RBI in each of his first 3 games, including his first home run against the Rockies there on February 20th. So great to see Arenado getting out to an early start here. And again, when you talk about Arenado, you're talking about, if you have concerns, it's his offense. And so far, his offense hasn't been a problem this spring. Feels like he's right where he needs to be. He's acclimating to his team nicely, and his defense is solid. Speaking of solid defense, Ryne Waldschmidt also had an incredible play. I believe Damon tweeted that out and just used it as further confirmation that Waldo or Waldy is going to get one of those outfield spots come opening day.
Yeah, Derek, this is going to shock some people, but maybe I said that to get a rise, a little bit of I wanted some reaction. I was not necessarily feeling like Ryne Waldschmidt is going to be given the opening day
You wanted
spot.
to test him. You wanted to kind of rile him up a little bit.
It's almost like a speak it into existence type of thing.
Sure.
Because as I've said a few times over this offseason, like I think best case scenario for this roster is that guy is so damn good that he forces Torey Lovullo and Mike Hazen's hand where he has to be in the lineup every day. He has to be on the major league roster.
Right.
And you can't put him in Reno to start the season because he's just frankly better than the other players that you have at that position. And I think that what we've seen in spring training thus far is he's at least, making that a competition, a battle there, because he has been the best left fielder that you got so far. He has looked really good. Obviously I think there was like a poor defensive play on game 1, but he makes that really good defensive play out there in this game. He's been hitting at the plate. We know he's like a professional major league caliber hitter. I think it's less of a joke now and a little bit more serious of like, could this guy actually be the starting left fielder on opening day? I'm all for it.
We already discussed their outfield depth and how, easy they could, I guess how shallow their depth could be, right? If Corbin Carroll does take more time to come back from his injury and Lourdes Gurriel also is delayed, I guess not even delayed. If Lourdes Gurriel Jr. remains on the actual timetable of his return, then the Diamondbacks most likely shouldn't be getting him back until like May. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I'm sure Lourdes will be back by then. But if the Dbacks find themselves without Corbin and Lourdes for a significant amount of time, their depth is truly going to be tested. Luckily, all 3 of these guys have stepped up so far this spring. It feels like all 3 of these guys understand the assignment and that they are playing their asses off. Ryne Waldschmidt has 2 extra base hits so far this spring and 3 RBI in his 3 starts. Jordan Lawler has homered in 2 of his first 3 games. He's gone 4 for 8 with 2 homers, 2 RBI, and 3 walks while making his first 3 starts there in center field. And then Alek Thomas, he has an extra base hit in each of his first 3 games, and he's reached base 6 times already, going 4 for 7 with 2 doubles, a triple, 3 RBI, and 2 walks. Alek Thomas is him. Mm-hmm. Alek Thomas is finally playing the way that we have always wanted to see Alek Thomas play. Now, again, I will say the one thing that all of you people will need to say that want to be negative, and that is this is a very small sample size, and obviously it's not against the best, most elite pitching Major League Baseball has to offer. However, I will also implore you to realize that Alek Thomas and Jordan Lawler and Ryne Waldschmidt are hitting against the same pitchers that are pitching to Gabby Moreno, who's currently struggling offensively, and Ketel Marte, who did hit his first home run, but still isn't blowing you away with his numbers this spring. So I'm not panicked about those guys, nor am I going to get crazy about these 3 outfielders starting hot. I will say, though, that considering that there is a competition and considering that they are looking for these guys to essentially win time, It's good to see them performing this well because it feels like they are doing that. They're competing. It's like what I said about Michael Soroka. I don't ever want Michael Soroka's comments to be misconstrued. And I will say this, defending him 100%. I loved what he said. This is not the last day of spring training where it sounds like Michael Soroka is going to be problematic because he's going to be put into the bullpen. It is not that. His comments that he made were the exact kind of comments that I want out of any Major League Baseball player that's competing for a spot. if they do end up going to the bullpen, if they do end up getting sent back down to the minors, whatever the case may be, then we'll deal with that then when that decision is made. That decision is out of their hands. But as far as someone like Soroka saying that he thinks the best way for him to help a baseball team is by starting, I love that. And that's the attitude that he should have until that decision is made. And then when they say, like, if they say, hey, we got to put Soroka in the bullpen, that's when he can be like, I am fine and I'm willing to do with whatever my team wants me to do, right? But it's not like him saying that I don't think is a negative. I don't think most fans took it as that. But I will say, I like that attitude. I like the way that these guys are playing when it comes to center field as well, you know? But again, now with the injury to Merrill Kelly, God bless the fact that the Diamondbacks have Michael Soroka. And God bless the fact that they brought back Zac Gallen. Because without either of those guys, we would be panicking right now and talking about potentially either like Cole Drake making, you know, his debut in this rotation, or maybe like a Gilbert Diaz or Cristian Mena. Cristian Mena still feels like a guy that is at the back end, and they'll probably keep stretched out for depth to add to the starting rotation should they have additional injuries. But
I think Mena is the most underrated player in the farm system right now, to be honest with you.
I agree.
I think that's a guy who could be really, really good down the line.
Right. But down the line, right? You don't want to rush that development.
He's young still,
Yeah. And you want these guys to have a chance to, you know, be ready, you know, but with the Diamondbacks, sometimes they don't have the luxury of that. Sometimes they have to go to their minor league depth earlier than they wanted to, and that's when these guys get that experience. Hey, wake up, babe. You're starting in today's game against the Dodgers, essentially, is something that could happen to anybody in this system. But again,
we got, you know, it's Waldschmidt's time, and hopefully he takes advantage of it. Were you familiar with that whole scenario?
Oh,
Darren?
yeah, Waldschmidt.
Yeah. That we got the Dodgers broadcaster calling him Waldschmidt.
Yeah.
When making what a play by Waldschmidt.
What a play by Walden Books. We're like, hey, that company's been closed for a while. Speaking of Merrill Kelly, Damon, intercostal nerve irritation, aka if you want to get nerdy about it, intercostal neurology, and it's affects your area below your ribs. It can be caused by several different conditions. What's odd about it is so many of these things are more of like either trauma being caused to that area, or like having surgery that then has these nerves kind of have irritation. Good news is,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Joey sends in here, Mena is hurt again.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's interesting. I didn't hear anything about that. Jack Summers' tweet from 1 minute ago, Cristian Mena has re-injured his teres major and is completely shut down from all throwing activity. That is as of a minute ago, Derek. That's breaking news.
No, I'm done. I'm done, Damon. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, what is the point of this anymore?
I was like, am I crazy?
My glove and my dog, and I'm going home.
I didn't believe that I heard anything about Cristian Mena, and we got our guy Joey just glued to the Twitter streets, getting out information to this podcast. Breaking news. Unbelievable.
This is insane. I'm sitting here doing an injury update, trying to tell people what intercostal nerve irritation is, and meanwhile, another pitcher is hurt. Great. One we were just talking about moments ago. Crazy. Anyway, Damon, I guess good news is that intercostal nerve irritation doesn't really have like a major procedure that can be done. It does sound like there is something they can do, like a nerve block that injects steroids and pain relieving medication into it. But hopefully what this means is, with no damage, as Merrill said, no damage in any way to his back, muscles, anything in any way, this will be just more of a medication situation. Maybe give him a little bit of time off, and then maybe he will be back sooner than hopefully later, right? Because the Diamondbacks definitely need that. But they play the Royals today, I guess. I don't know. I'm now disappointed and depressed in every way. And that's nobody's fault, but the actual thing that's happening. But of course, the Diamondbacks have 26 total spring broadcasts this spring. There's 8 free ones. Today is not one of those. But tomorrow, 6:10, start against the Mariners out in Peoria will be broadcast on Dbacks starting here shortly. We are
good lineup. Really good lineup if you saw the batting order, Derek.
Good lineup today?
Yeah, really solid. People were complaining because they're like, oh, cool, we get to see 85% of our major league roster, but we don't actually get to see it.
Yeah. This goes back to our discussion about yesterday.
There's not games that we can watch.
And people have jobs and can't all take time off.
The $billion dollar, franchise and business that is being put on the field here, and we got nothing.
Not surprised because Diamondbacks need to get these guys playing time quickly before they leave for their World Baseball Classic teams, which will be in just a few days. So in just a few days, all of those guys are going to have to join their teams, and the Diamondbacks will have no control over them any longer. But we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of this break, we are going to talk about what the D-backs are going to do for backup infielder positions. Mostly what happens if anything happens to Geraldo Perdomo. We don't want to speak that into existence, but we do want to make sure there's a backup plan. We're talking about that here in just a few minutes. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. If you've been in a serious accident or suffered an injury, look no further than the husband and wife law team. You got to do your research when it comes to a lawyer that you hire because it does matter. Mark and Alexis Breyer are the husband and wife law team, and they have been a part of the Valley for generations. Phoenix is their home where they've raised their 8 children and where their focus is always client results and giving back to the community. This team brings hundreds of years of combined experience when it comes to trial experience, and they have multiple certified specialists in personal injury and wrongful death. So in Arizona, the state bar has certified less than 1% of all lawyers as specialists in injury and wrongful death litigation, and the husband and wife law team are your go-to when it comes to that. Of course, nobody can guarantee the outcome of a legal case. However, there are promises that they are proud to make to you and all of their client when it comes to their relationship with you. You can cancel their fee agreement at any time for any reason. You will receive as much in your pocket as they receive for their fee, even if they have to reduce their attorney fee to do so. And you may speak with one of their lawyers as often as you choose about anything you want to discuss. If you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841. That number is again 602-783-8841, or visit their website at the link in our show notes and tell them that the mayor of PHNX sent you.
I'm trying to talk music with my guy, Mark Breyer. You heard that guy singing some Kesha and whatnot in the morning?
He knows his stuff. He's also an incredible dancer. So don't get him out there on the dance floor. He'll make you look foolish. But
huge Dbacks fans as well. The husband and wife law team.
Love that about them. Also, of course, I love renovating my home, and I can do so with the help from the folks at the Window Depot. And you can too. Whatever project you're looking to get started, let the Window Depot help you. They are more than just windows, but of course, if you want to replace your windows, this is the best place to do so. They also have doors, skylights, cabinets, countertops, sinks, and so much more. They all in stock and ready for pickup. It's the reason why contractors love the Window Depot. It is because of their job site ready quantities and their unbeatable prices. Plus, no membership fee is required to be a part of the Window Depot. You and I and any contractor can go and get these unbeatable prices. And of course, if you need help starting your project, they have in-house designers which are absolutely free to help you plan your space at no extra cost. From cabinets to countertops, they make it simple. The Window Depot, more than just a window store. Visit thewindowdepot.com and get started on your next project today. Well, the Diamondbacks had some awful defense yesterday. That's one thing I remember especially seeing. Not to mention, it felt like a lot of walks, a lot of extra opportunities, but the Torey Lovullo was not having it with the defense after yesterday's game. He was actually pretty disappointed. And again, you know that this is a meaningless baseball game, but it's not meaningless. It's against the Dodgers, and it's also, one of those things that the Diamondbacks are trying to specifically lock down and work on. They're also trying to not let the idea of these games just being early spring games do that to them overall. They're trying to not, just have, just kind of brush it off. So glad to see that it was somewhat unacceptable yesterday for the Diamondbacks. But of course, big question is that we're discussing today is what is going on when it comes to the Diamondbacks' depth at shortstop behind Geraldo Perdomo. As you know, Jordan Lawler has been converted to a center fielder, and for all intents and purposes, it sounds like that is where Jordan Lawler is going to play this season. It's not to say that he won't be moved around. I know the Diamondbacks are going to do everything they can to give him as many at-bats as they possibly can, but overall, it feels like the Diamondbacks definitely have some holes there. I mean, overall, it's great that they have, Geraldo Perdomo, who is such a key there. But when you take a look behind him in their depth chart, it would appear right now that the Diamondbacks don't necessarily have depth there. Is that fair to say, Damon? I don't.
I mean, after you traded Blaze, you definitely took a hit in that depth. After you moved Jordan Lawler to the outfield, seemingly that depth takes a bit of a hit. So yeah, you definitely need someone to kind of, rise to the top here when it comes to backups.
When you take a look at their 40-man roster, they have Jose Fernandez on there, who is, a potentially a backup third baseman there overall. Jose Fernandez is a guy that has been, or shortstop, so he's a definite option for this team considering he's already on the 40-man roster. But the Diamondbacks are going to have limited spot on their 26-man roster when that time comes. So is Jose Fernandez, has he done enough? He just hit his first home run. He could definitely be a guy that steps in or that they call up should they need that depth if anything happens. It just still doesn't make you feel great overall. And also, with the way that their roster is currently constructed, it doesn't feel like having a backup infielder overall is extremely important to this team, because outside of Jose Fernandez, you do have Jordan Lawler. You have Tim Tawa. We've seen him play some second base already this spring. He didn't look exactly solid over there. We know based on past experiences that that Tawa has been, I guess, very, very, very much a utility player that has been capable of playing lots of different positions. I remember when he was playing first base, he did a solid job of doing that. So he is definitely someone that could, that could become that if needed, or fill in a particular day in a starting lineup should the Diamondbacks need to sub Perdomo out. But outside of that, it doesn't feel like there's very much depth. And again, this is more about, the day-to-day 26-man roster and who they would just have step in when they need to give Geraldo Perdomo a day off. Diamondbacks have brought back Ildemaro Vargas, and we've talked about that quite a bit. Ildemaro Vargas is here at spring camp, and we've seen Ildemaro Vargas in a Diamondbacks uniform entirely too many times.
What's that supposed to mean?
That's probably a bad way to say that. We've seen.
You better say that to Ildemaro Vargas' face, Derek.
Hey, I dap up Ildemaro Vargas when I see him. I love that guy. No, I mean, again, he has been a guy. He's there's a bunch of these guys, right? Sergio Alcantara, Ildemaro Vargas. Like, there's guys that have been a part of this team that are still available. I believe Wilmer Flores, who you and I were talking about today, also still available. Probably not a guy that you feel comfortable stepping in, but the Diamondbacks may need to start looking at some outside options, whether it's a trade or via free agency. Now, free agency, we've talked about plenty, is kind of down to stems and seeds for the most part, right? But there's still some options out there when it comes to a potential utility infielder. The Diamondbacks might just have to go with someone that you wouldn't have gone with otherwise, but could still possibly fill that role. One guy who's played a lot of roles, played a lot of roles last year just for the Chicago Cubs, was Jon Berti. That's a name that I haven't said in 84 years, but he is a longtime MLB utility infielder, outfielder, capable of playing all around the diamond overall. Now, he had a down season in 2025 offensively, and again, the Cubs did not utilize him very much, but he did play 4 different positions for that team, and he pitched. So I don't know. I like the fact that Jon Berti does offer you a lot of versatility. He could be a name that Mike Hazen looks to. He slashed 294, 344, 405 for the Miami Marlins just in 2023. And then he was still pretty good in a limited capacity with the Yankees in 2024. Again, that was just one of those down seasons. So he is still available as a free agent. I'm sure he won't be. I'm sure 20 minutes after we finish this episode, Jon Berti will be picked up by some Major League Baseball team, or at least
pretty typical,
signed to a minor league deal with a non-roster invite to camp, But again, a couple of other guys, Sergio Alcantara. I know you don't probably want to see Sergio Alcantara back. He's available. Luis Guillorme, he's another guy, defensive infielder. with several MLB seasons under his belt. He's got low strikeout, strong on base approach, and he could be a good candidate for a low risk bench contract kind of option. Just a guy that can come in and do some of those roles. The Diamondbacks
guy that was on the team last year, Derek.
They need a Kevin Newman is what they need.
True.
That's what they need is a Kevin Newman.
All good teams need guys like that.
Yeah.
I think we said it at the time in 2024 that like that's kind of the season that you needed to get out of Kevin Newman because of all the injuries that you had that season.
Right.
So yeah, I mean you do need to find a guy on the radar or on the peripheral who's not really going to be valued by a team all that much, but could maybe give you a 250 average and play a couple of positions, right?
For sure. And I mean, again, the Diamondbacks do have plenty of infielders that they've called up to camp with non-roster invites, and those guys are getting lots of looks, and Ildemaro Vargas being one of those guys. It feels, Damon, like overall they have better options in-house than these free agent options. I like Birdie, but again, as far as options in-house, the Diamondbacks do have guys that could potentially fill that role, guys that they've been taking a look at this spring. And again, guys that we want to see on the major league roster. We've talked about Tommy Troy being one of those options, and Tommy Troy seems like he can play all of the positions that the Diamondbacks need him to. He's also been having success this spring. I feel like it's hard because, again, with the limited options available to this team, like a trade is a trade. So whatever could happen with a trade. I couldn't even potentially pinpoint a trade that this team could make to bring in an infielder of this kind of caliber that they're looking for. But as far as
it's like, what do you even give up for that?
Yeah,
some guy that me and you don't even know.
Yeah,
you know what? It's gonna be like some single A player because a utility player is not gonna hold all that much value in a trade. You know,
fair.
The best you could probably do is what you got for Blaze, which is like a MLB ready reliever. You know,
and I like him. I like Stroud. I think that they did a good job in picking him up. However, he's not even guaranteed a roster spot right now when it comes to this bullpen competition. So even though he was traded for, still has to kind of fight for that role. And again, when it comes to these infielder roles, there's a lot of guys that could fill that role, by the way. And again, I think that when it comes down to looking at what's available, the options in-house still look far more attractive. But it's easier said than done. Also, again, they do have the ability to call someone up if something happens down the line, which is the reason why we most likely won't see them make any moves to fill this role, even though they might have to. I don't know. Things are looking bleak. The pitching situation isn't great, and it does feel like there's a lot of questions about their infield depth once you take Jordan Lawler out of the equation, like Damon said. With Blaze and Jordan, you felt like you had plenty of backups, and now you've converted one of those to a center fielder and traded the other one away. It suddenly feels like you have no options when it comes to that role, at least on the 26-man roster. So we'll see if something changes or if somebody wins something in camp. But again, don't be surprised if the Diamondbacks also suddenly bring in another guy, maybe on a minor league deal that's available out there. We are going to take a quick break, and on the other side of this break, we are going to talk about ESPN's way too early 2026 All-Star predictions. And they went with the easy ones. They did the low-hanging fruit. We're going to try to figure out who we really think is going to get an All-Star nod. That would be a surprise. Also, more about Ryne Waldschmidt being the Diamondbacks' best power-hitting prospect, according to MLB Pipeline. All of this on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, Circle K is Derek's thirst stop. It's Damon's thirst stop, and it's America's thirst stop. Stop by, get yourself something to drink, whether it is cold out in the morning and you need something hot, or when it's 90 degrees in the afternoon and you need something cool. They got you covered. And if you are a member of the Inner Circle, you will save even more on all of their delicious beverages, food, and even gas. So do not hesitate to sign up today. It's easy to do so. Just download the app and then you use your phone number to save on things like get yourself a 79-cent Polar Pop, get yourself a 99-cent Froster, go get yourself some wonderful Circle K branded snacks. All of these things are amazing. They're all going to be cheaper if you're an Inner Circle member, and you will be surprised at the savings you can experience. Plus, right now, if you buy 3 Coca-Cola 20-ounce products, you can save 25 cents off per gallon on gas. Keep an eye out for those Inner Circle fuel days as well. Those can always save you 40 cents off per gallon, and they are always a welcome sight. So join the Inner Circle for free right now by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And you know, I love myself a good edible, and my company, my go-to is Pure Edibles. That's because Pure Edibles offers a wide variety of candy. So whatever I'm in the mood for, they might have something that matches. It doesn't matter if I'm looking for gummies, hard candies, chews. They have their version of Starbursts, which are delightful, that they call Kicks. And all of these come in a variety of delicious flavors. They also come with each effect of each candy clearly listed on the tin. So that way you know exactly what you're getting into. And they offer a wide variety of effects, including things to help you get a good night's sleep, which I am a fan of lately. REM sleep definitely helps Derek on this show. Also, get yourself a good pain management candy, or perhaps even one to help elevate your mood. So all of this, plus their collaboration with Mother Road Brewing Company, one of the best breweries in our state. They bring you the greatest IPA in Arizona, the Tower Station IPA, now in an all-in-one THC device that offers those same crisp, citrusy notes and piney hops that you can get from that delightful IPA. So go find yourself some Pure Edibles products from one of over 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Well, we know who the all-stars on this team are. There's no doubt about that. But when it comes to predicting all-stars, that might be a little bit harder. The ESPN admitted, or released what they admitted was their way too early 2026 All-Star predictions, and much to our excitement, they named Geraldo Perdomo as the National League starter at shortstop and listed all the obvious reasons why Perdomo is the up-and-coming next biggest thing at shortstop. So we love to see that. They also named Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll to the All-Star team, but both players were named as reserves. Pretty safe bet. I don't hate this at all. I think there's a good chance that Ketel Marte obviously is going to be more than just a reserve, and same with Corbin Carroll, despite the fact that they both are getting off to slow starts in their own ways. But overall here, we feel like this is a pretty easy slam dunk. Damon's throwing cords at me. He's on his belly down here in front of me. It's mostly because my computer's about to die. Here, we'll just show it off on the show. I thought it was funnier that way. But anyway, that's why he's the best producer at PHNX. I hope nobody else heard that, but I don't care if they do. Damon, is it crazy? It seems easy to say as a prediction that Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Geraldo Perdomo are going to be the all-stars for this team, but again, it's a way too early prediction, so not surprised. I do love the fact, though, that they think Perdomo is going to end up as the starter for the National League team. What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
I know you're pumped about that.
My thoughts are Francisco Lindor, who? Trey Turner, where?
No, I don't even know.
All these bums, get him out of my face. I'm sorry, Mookie Betts, what? Yeah. Like, I've been told that all three of these guys are better than Geraldo Perdomo according to the top 100 rankings, but yet my guy finds a way to represent the National League in the All-Star game. It's crazy, Derek. It's crazy.
It's fair.
But yeah, I think that, you have three guys who are in the top 25 of Major League's top 100 players. Like, all three of them should be a shoo-in for the All-Star game if they stay healthy.
All right. Well, let's make the more difficult choice here. Let's make the more difficult prediction. Who do you think, not Ketel, not Jerry P, and not Corby, who do you think is going to be an all-star for this team? Who's your selection? I'll give you mine first since I sprung this on you.
Waldschmidt.
Yes.
I'm just that's gonna be my answer for every single
question.
Yep.
That's fine. I think it's going to be Nolan Arenado. I think he's going to have a renaissance. I think he's going to have a resurgence. I think MLB loves that. And I don't think it's going to be one of those hokey Clayton Kershaw retirement tour waving his hand and such, right? I think this is going to be Nolan Arenado, like
Make-A-Wish Kershaw.
Yeah, no, this is going to be him tapping into the fountain of youth and both excelling defensively with this team as a leader on and off the field. And I think he's going to have himself a killer season at the plate. I think he's going to be much better than he was last season, maybe even the last two seasons for the St. Louis Cardinals. It will surprise some, but not me, because I will have said this was going to happen the whole time.
I like it. I think at least, if I don't necessarily believe that, and I know these are hot takes, we're getting good plus money bets on these guys being all-stars. So if it doesn't happen, it's not like you're just some big clown. But you're a clown for other reasons.
I am a
not
clown
because
for
of
other
this.
reasons. Mostly my shirts.
I think Nolan Arenado is going to have a big year. I think he is going to have a resurgence. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make an all-star game. But I do think we're going to get great defense. I think we're going to get 20-plus home runs. I think we're going to get good RBI production out of like the 5-hole in the lineup. I think that Nolan Arenado is going to be a very welcome addition to this roster. I'm going to give you a guy, Derek, that I think might fire up Dbacks Nation, fire up the people in this chat a little bit. We're talking a lot of hitters. Gabby Moreno, I think that's the most obvious one, right? Catcher is a position that if you have offensive production and you're a plus defender, which Gabby is, you have a good chance of making an all-star game, especially with, if he can stay healthy with the players that hit in front of him, he could put a lot of RBI on the board this year. So I like that pick of Gabby as well. I think that's, like I said, the most obvious answer. How about Ryne Nelson? Ryne Nelson pitches like he did. Say it
louder for the people in the back, Damon.
He pitches like he did last year in the second half of the season, the year before that. And now people are starting to realize, oh, this Ryne Nelson guy's pretty good.
Yeah, he's put it together. If he puts it together this year, it's enough of a body of work that you can't just say like, oh, hey, like, again, it's easy for the Diamondbacks pitchers to kind of be underrated when you talk about the staff overall.
Yeah, you think that you're just like, oh, they're all bums.
Yeah.
But that's not exactly true.
Nope.
Ryne Nelson is him.
Not with Merrill, not with Nelly, and also Zac Gallen again. He struggled in the first half and really put himself in a position that it was going to be impossible for his numbers to look good at the end of the year, no matter how good he did. But remember, since the All-Star, or not since the All-Star break, but since the trade deadline, he was not terrible. He was actually pretty good. So you're right. But Nelly somehow just slips through the cracks. Like I said, it's because his name is Ryne Nelson, and it's just an easy name to forget. So, let's remember, it's Oil Can, Ryne Nelson. And maybe once we put some respect on his name, and that, I don't know, maybe Oil Can sounds like he's cheating. So we'll have to figure something else out.
Robert's telling us don't bring up other pitchers. We talk about Cristian Mena and immediately breaking news, shut down.
He's right. Yeah, we shouldn't talk about any Diamondbacks players on this show anymore.
That's fair.
We're just going to talk about Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman constantly and hope that it
Did I mention Mookie Betts? I don't know if I mentioned Mookie Betts. But yeah.
Do it again in case you didn't.
I do think that's a guy I'm looking at where, like, who are ascending players? Who's a guy who's built up his name a little bit more in the last couple of years. And now, Ryne Nelson isn't going into the year wondering if he's going to even be in the starting rotation. Yeah. He's set in stone. That's confidence that can, be put on his plate. And if he can do what he did last year, I think that we could be looking at a potential, we're at the All-Star break. Like, he's probably not going to be like, a shoo-in, especially with, how good, like Paul Skenes is and, Sanchez on the Phillies, and like there's all these great pitchers in the National League, obviously.
Sure.
But if he can put up the statistics that are necessary, and there's not another pitcher on the Dbacks that is putting up like godly numbers, I do think that if the Dbacks are a solid enough team, you could be looking at like maybe getting one of your pitchers involved, and I like Ryne Nelson in that spot.
I do not hate it at all, and also Ryan Waldschmidt. Still, who knows? Who knows? The sky is the limit for Ryan Waldschmidt.
My Ryan Waldschmidt Rookie of the Year future.
It's gonna hit. It's gonna hit.
It's like it's extra rent paycheck.
No,
there.
I get it. Well, according to MLB Pipeline, he is the Diamondbacks' best power hitting prospect. They named him. They actually released a list of the best hitting prospect for each team. And Ryan Waldschmidt, the overall number 59th prospect in Major League Baseball, was their selection for the Dbacks. They went on to say that he may have closer to above average raw power than plus, but he brings it to play with an uphill swing that allows him to yank the ball in the air. The 23-year-old is a dark horse candidate to win a major league job in Arizona's outfield this spring. Something we obviously already knew, and it would appear that at the very least, the Diamondbacks are giving him a realistic chance to earn that spot, right? They're playing him plenty, and in fact, again, with Alek Thomas leaving the Team Mexico, he's going to get even more playing time once we get into that WBC period of spring. I think that it's really just about experience and him getting this time. I think this is very valuable for him. I think he's going to get more time than he would, obviously, on a non-WBC year. So that's going to be helpful for him. Plus, the Diamondbacks situation with their outfield depth feels like there's no reason to not give this kid a chance. So far, he's looked pretty good. Like Damon said, he had that one defensive mistake on the first day, but he also made an incredible highlight reel play yesterday on a day where the Diamondbacks defense looked absolutely terrible everywhere. So he was one of the shining bright spots for that team yesterday and could be come the regular season. Just like the starting rotation, though, when guys return, it's going to be potentially obvious who is going to be sent down or who isn't going to be starter any longer. Ryne doesn't have to give that up, though. Much like we said about Michael Soroka. There's no reason for him to not fight and compete for that spot considering the opportunity he's been given, and there's no reason for him to just unnecessarily relinquish it because someone returns. So hopefully he can make that big splash and earn Damon some money this once
there we go.
The season comes around.
So I'm looking on some various books. Our friends at Bet365, Derek, do not have Rookie of the Year voting or awards futures up yet. So we'll be on the lookout for those. But one other book doesn't even have Ryan Waldschmidt as an option, and they have players up to plus 10,000. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, maybe we add in him so I can get good value here.
Yeah.
Now I'm on another very popular sports book, and they have him at plus 3,500, which puts him in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17th place among potential National League Rookie of the Year.
That's wild
winners.
Considering how far he technically is from major leagues, right? The highest level Ryan Waldschmidt has been to is AA in Amarillo, right? So logically, it doesn't make sense that he would be even that close, except for the fact that obviously the Diamondbacks are giving him more of an opportunity to make the major league club than a lot of other teams are giving to their top prospects. 6, 7.
You got Lourdes injured, and I think that's the big thing there is that your left fielder is probably hurt to start the year, and that opens up opportunity for a guy like Ryan Waldschmidt to take it and plant his flag Alec Thomas style and say, this is my position from here on forth.
At the very least, it's a great opportunity for him to get major league playing time for now, and again,
here's an idea,
obvious
Derek.
He's going to be the outfielder of the future for this team.
Ryan Waldschmidt is so damn good that he has to start in left field. Oh, what do we do with Lourdes now that he's back healthy?
DH?
DH, absolutely. I think that makes the most sense. Lourdes is the emergency backup first baseman.
Oh, no, David, no.
Now, I'm not saying...
Damon, no!
Now, I'm not saying
David,
Pavin Smith needs to be riding pine. But Pavin Smith might need to ride some pine. Lourdes Gurriel, welcome to first base, brother.
Yeah.
That's my world that I want to live in. Utopia.
I don't know. Maybe I don't hate that. But one thing I definitely don't hate is the fact that right now during NFL Combine Week, you can become a PHNX diehard for the cheapest price that you can find this year so far. 55% off. Save $44. Get yourself a membership for just $36 for 1 year. Get full NFL Combine coverage all week. Complete access to our draft guide, including scouting reports, prospect breakdowns, and analysis. You get a free shirt of your choice from the store. Of course, you can pick a football one, but it would be better to pick a baseball one. And then premium football coverage all year long, as well as the rest of our wonderful coverage. So visit gophnx.com/intro to get that deal right now. I discussed it earlier, Damon, when it came to the Dominoes kind of owning me. The Dominoes game owned me when it came to media coverage yesterday in the clubhouse.
Dominoes 1, Derek 0.
Yeah, the ABS system is kind of owning Paul Skenes. In fact, you could say Paul Skenes 0, ABS system 4. Damon 4. For reference, this is about yesterday's game. Pirates were playing. Paul Skenes was on the mound. He was pitching to Matt Olson, and apparently he missed the zone according to the ABS system, Damon, by 1/10 of an inch. It's how much he missed the zone by. And I'll have to say it right now. This is why Ryan Thompson hates the ABS system. 1/10 of an inch is roughly the thickness of a coin. Not even a nickel, like a quarter. I think a nickel might be too thick. Home plate umpire Chris Segal ruled the offering a strike. Matt Olson tapped his helmet, and MLB's ABS challenge system reviewed, showing that the pitch was actually, the curveball was actually slightly 1/10 of an inch outside of the strike zone. Matt Olson ultimately walked, and Atlanta hitters did not stop doing this to Paul Skenes. In total, the Braves had 4 reviews against Skenes and won every single one of them, including 2 consecutive batters following Matt Olson's win. But none were as close as the 1/10 of an inch that flipped the strike into a walk and affected Skenes' psyche and afternoon forever. He was kind afterwards, but you can tell deep down inside he hates this more than he hates seething over it.
I mean, it's going to affect a guy like that probably more than a lot of other players because
you're right.
he gets
nibbles.
Calls.
And he gets called, right, because he throws the ball so well.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's Paul Skenes. You look at him on the mound, he's a giant. He has the mustache. He has all the aura in the world. Mm-hmm. Livy Dunn's watching from the box, and all of a sudden, umpires are getting, a little bit influenced. They're like, yeah, that's a strike.
For sure.
Are you kidding me?
For sure.
For sure. Another Skenes strikeout.
I can't wait to do the strikeout
practicing strikeout calls in the mirror because Paul Skenes is pitching today.
Right.
And so, I think that, this is going to hurt the guys that are maybe more predisposed to getting calls from umpires more than it would hurt like a team like the Dbacks even, who I just don't, not to say that you never get calls because it's baseball and umpires are definitely fallible individuals, but like when you're the Dbacks and you're playing the Dodgers, let's just face it, the Dodgers get more calls than the Dbacks because they have star players, they have more fans in the building, it's a crazy environment. So I think that this could hypothetically be a thing that maybe skews a little bit more towards the teams that are not the big market teams and help maybe kind of close that gap a little bit, but maybe that's just a hopeful way of thinking.
More importantly, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's about getting the calls right, but what it does is it does take a little bit of the power away from some of these pitchers. And at Major League Baseball, I feel like everything they're doing is trying to increase offense and make the game more exciting, right? So it feels like this is another chance to do that. But Paul Skenes, he walked 4 in 2 1/3 innings pitched, and he ended up throwing 53 pitches, right? This kind of stuff is crucial. This is crucial. We saw this with the Diamondbacks. When we talk about the bad defense behind Zac Gallen and other starting pitchers this year, when we talk about Mike Hazen trying to take some of the blame off of the pitching staff and say the bad defense was the reason why some of these pitchers had such bad numbers, it's because extending an inning, even if no runs score, does a lot to that starting pitcher. It makes them throw more pitches. They have to have a completely another at bat. I mean, I don't need to break this down, but again, when you're talking about trying to get Paul Skenes out of a game, getting a walk that was most likely going to be a strikeout and having another batter come up and be able to make him throw 5, 6, maybe 10 more pitches in that at bat is crucial to a team being able to survive Paul Skenes and get past him and possibly beat the Pirates, which is much easier once he's not in the game at all. But
very true.
Speaking of beating things, Harrison Bader tormenting food vendors out at America Family Fields. I don't know, Damon, if you got a chance to see this. Harrison Bader hit a home run. He needs to chill. He needs to chill a little bit. His first home run of Cactus League play, left American Family Field, struck a food truck in left field. This 408-foot missile. 408-foot missile that he launched was hit so hard that you could even see the seams on the impression that was left on the front of the trailer, which, as you can see here, he came back and signed with a little note that says, sorry. I
wish he was on our team.
I do too. He just hit a 408-foot home run.
Not that we obviously the Alec Thomas, Jordan Lawler, those guys seem like they're doing the most with their, with their opportunity thus far. But it would have been nice to have another high floor outfielder that you feel pretty confident in, especially with the DH situation.
I just like the fact that he's trying to defend the good nature of the vendors that are in the ballpark, right? He's trying to send a message here. He's like, take your food trucks and go. We got plenty of food here. We don't need you here, right? Speaking as someone that comes to baseball games regularly, I would disagree, Harrison Bader, but that truck now needs to be graded, right? It needs to be graded and put into like a big clear box with whatever the...
Yeah, it's a PSA 8.
A PSA 8?
Yeah, that's not quite a 9.
I mean, but he signed it, so there's that value is added to it. Yeah, regardless. I don't know collecting food truck values. I do know baseball cards and pro wrestling cards. That's the extent of my knowledge. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you guys for your time. We'll be back here tomorrow on Friday for our last show of the week, 12 p.m. Make sure to join us for that. In the meantime, you can follow us on social media. I am at Cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dawg with a DAWG at the end, and we're all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We will see you guys here tomorrow. We will have more from today's game from the Royals, and if you're going out to Peoria Sports Complex, I will be out there hanging out and eating lots of food for dinner. So make sure to hit me up or send me a message. But of course, until then, we appreciate you guys for stopping by so much. Thank you for your time. We will see you back here tomorrow. Until then, have yourselves a wonderful evening. Go watch some baseball. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Zac Gallen can actually throw a 98-mile-per-hour fastball.
We all silly like the mayor.